be done and what needs to be addressed, and the issues that were surrounding the brutality of SARS. Now it was from that treating that the matter went to the street, and people began to protest, and the protest got momentum. And luckily for the protesters and for Nigerians, the federal government announced a measure, despite the fact that policing in our country is a system that only protects those who are in government, who are ruling. Police is not policing for the people. Police is always policing for those who are in authority. But despite that, the government, through the Inspector General of Police, took a bold step by recommending and even agreeing with the entire demands of the protesters. But you see, the protest is still going on even as we are talking today, because people have not left the street as it was expected. People are still protesting. This is because although those issues have been addressed regarding to SARS, but the level of decay that has been going on in Nigeria for over the years, and the level of misgovernance, the level of injustices, the level of looting by public officials, and the fact that government is unable to provide the most minimal welfare to the people, has led the people to now raise the stake of their protest from NSAS to other issues pertaining to governance. That is the reason why you see the people are still on the street and are calling for government proactiveness in good governance and the provision of welfare and the essence of justice and the end to looting and other issues like that, which have been bedeviling the country for a very long time. These are issues that have been going on for a very long time, but you know the protest has made it to snowball into an issue that this administration has to face. They have to look at these issues critically and then address them, so that in future, because with this development, you can see that Nigerians are rising to the occasion. And so with time, you will note that government may not be able to take us for granted.
Well, again, some people, analysts, have said that this Buhari's administration is made to be the fall guy of the rot in the system. Now, tracing it back again, and why government has not been, we've not had an inclusive form of, a government where the people are taken into consideration about their demands and requests and all of that. But again, demands made by the protesters, or that we can see about good governance that they want, about security that they want, about police brutality to stop, and about, of course, corruption to end, and all of that, as we see the protesters demanding. This has been with us with successive governments. And again, for you, this administration taking the fall, what are your thoughts on it?
This government will not be different from past governments, despite the pretensions. But other protests may erupt in future. For the present protest, I am sure that it will go on maybe for some time, in a few days' time probably, because even the protesters will run out of provision and they may be forced to leave the street, especially with the threat coming from the Nigerian army. That you can see that even people in government are supporting this protest, because even those ruling agree that they are not doing the right thing and that it is out of frustration that the people are protesting.
Okay, Barrister, I do know that you have a tight schedule.
Yes,
excuse you for now, Barrister.
Thank you, sir. Thank you
very much.
Yeah,
okay, we'll go for a short break. We'll be back.
We'll be right back.
is the program Perspectives this morning, and looking at the protests that are going on all over the country. That's just how to describe what is going on now. We've not seen the like of these, and it's taking a turn that people are considering to be something that must be addressed immediately. And the protests started with the End SARS movement again, but today it has moved away from End SARS. It's about Nigerians demanding for good governance, Nigerians demanding that security be put in place, that corruption must end, that police brutality must come to an end, and of course all that has to do with governance is what this protest is looking at. Young men and women, and of course it has taken another shape now. It's the old and the young that are out there on the street, and of course people with income, high income, have joined, and of course voices that could be heard, and voices that could tell about what is happening in the nation are all out are supporting this protest. And we see that the governors are all out too, saying that yes, the protesters have a right to be out there, but again wondering just when it will end. I do know too that the Senate President Ahmed Lawan and the Speaker of the House of Representatives Femi Gbajabiamila have been to the President to tell him that this is what is going on. And of course, we do know that the President is also watching what is going on and will be asking so many questions about what these protesters are demanding for. This is what's in democracy. Of course, with what is coming out, that the military may have to use its muscles on getting these protesters out of the street. Again, what may come out of it, and of course a quick reminder for all of us out there that the Arab Spring should still tell us about what protests could do and could lead to, and so caution has to be taken into how to get the protesters out of the street. But again, we've been told by public analysts too that yes, their demands have been listened to and accepted, and of course time to come to the table. Dialogue may just be the right word to use here. I'm being joined this morning by Mata
and change the face of leadership in the country, ability to introduce a new system. So as it is happening today, I think that it's something that has been coming over the years, and it is now we want to see if the government has the right kind of understanding, have the leadership skill to be able to address this issue, because anything other than adequately, comprehensively addressing this with emotional intelligence might just boil over.
Okay, Matthias Ado, again, looking at some of the demands of the protesters, here before me, I'm just reading these. It's one of the demands of the protesters that government reduce government salary budget. And I'm also seeing others that there are countries that have stable electricity. We deserve that too. So this is a situation where we found ourselves that like Nigerians, we all know from different parts of Nigeria where we come from, proverbs are used very well. And one of the proverbs that we see on the Nigerian space is that you cannot live by the riverside and still wash your face with sputum. I mean, that's saying that we have so much wealth in this country, and of course here we are, the poverty capital of the world. So many things just not working for Nigerians. And again, our representatives, the lawmakers, we've seen Ahmed Lawan coming out, we've seen Femi Gbajabiamila coming out and saying that the demands of the protesters are being looked into. For some of these things coming out of the Nigerian state, and what the protesters are putting out, are there things that we can have immediate solutions to?
Well, you see, the issue is, like I think I mentioned yesterday to some people, you see, you don't just call for people to leave the streets. You don't call for protesters to end. This is, as it is at the moment, people that have the clear understanding of how things like this work, we understand that it's not something, nobody can take a megaphone today and make an announcement on the streets of Nigeria and expect that young people are going to just walk away. So what the most organized structure that has the capacity to address this problem currently is the government, and the government must from what they are doing take a position, and not just take a position as announcement, but take a position and actions that immediately begin to address the issues that are put forward. It is clear that some of the demands that the people are making are going beyond NSAS to several other conversations. You mentioned the fact that we are beginning to ask government to reduce the cost of government in Nigeria. What does it take for government to honestly sit down and take a position as regards to this, and not just take a position and make announcements as usual, but take when the president and the vice president were elected in 2015, remember that the president said that we are going to reduce the number of private jets in the presidency. How does it take for government to do such kind of thing? There are quick wins. There are no hanging fruits that the government could, as of today, honestly address, and the young people will see that yes, these guys are serious about what they are doing. But if the government wants to continue to pay lip service to the situation, the elected representatives of the people, these same people cannot go back to their own constituency, cannot go back to their own community to go and have conversation with the people, because majority of them live in Abuja. Majority of them have abandoned their streets, have abandoned their constituencies, and what they are doing is that the moment they are elected into office, they raise their own standard of living, they raise their own lifestyle, they raise their own luxury, and then abandon the people who elect them. So when there are issues like this, they cannot engage such kind of constituents and have a conversation with them. If you have a problem such as this in a place like United States of America, the members who represent those constituents will be asked to go and meet with them, and because there is a system that works that, look, if you are a member of the House of Representatives, it is expected that you have a functional constituency office, you have a functional email address, you have a functional mail system that the citizens of the constituents of your own constituency can always reach to you, and they will be rest assured that their issues will be addressed. So you will see what we are having today is that there is a dysfunctional system in the country, and this has been over the years. People, the generations have come and gone, and a lot of people are saying that this is just the way things are. But this current generation is not accepting that narrative, and so for what is happening today, it will require intelligence from the government, and not just intelligence in terms of saying, okay, we need to see how we can quell this particular issue. There has to be a plan to address this, and the plan would have to be something that will convince the people that the government is honest about what it wants to do. You cannot get the young people off the streets of this country in the next 2-3 weeks. It is not possible. What you can do is that you can begin to implement this. Look, if I was the president of this country, the first thing I would have done is to remove the IG of his position, get rid of so many of these people that are in the police. I will see that like the delay in the response from the presidency, because their usual way of addressing things is that this will soon go, and then another issues will come and they will take over. And so they waited and thought that okay, maybe once the young boys get tired, then we can continue with our lifestyle. But no, these guys are not going to get tired.
Okay.
So now
Matthias,
it has called to question the leadership system in the country.
All right, Matthias, what I need to know, please don't go. I have to go for a commercial break, but I want you to just stay on the line. I'll join you after this break.
Okay, sir.
Invicta FM
98.9 FM.
Welcome back. Here's the program Perspectives this morning, and looking at the protests going on all over the country, and of course the consequences of that too, and what government needs to do at this point. I've been having some analysts sharing thoughts with me on what the protest has been like and what is likely to come out of it. Just at the beginning of the program, we had Barrister Yakubu Elzubai, public affairs analyst, sharing thoughts with us. I'm on now with Matthias Sadu, convener of the Hope Platform Initiative, with me now. Matthias, just want to ask a question before I move to our next guest, and this is about the protest and what it is doing. This is certainly bad publicity for Nigeria. I'm saying it because the international community has been drawn into what is happening in the country today, and we're seeing comments from all over the world about the protests that are going on now, and of course again questions being asked about a country one of the leading countries in oil production in the country, one of the countries in the world that has so many that it could use to feed its people, and yet it's been referred to as the poverty capital of the world. Insecurity again, seen as a third terrorist country, where terrorists are having a field day in the world, and everything that has to do with not having good governance, all of that is being shown to the world now, and of course the world is reacting to it. Nigeria is a country begging for investors to come in with all of this going on, and the international community that has a stand when it comes to taking actions or who to do business with internationally. For Nigeria again, like I said, and like this is bad publicity. Your thoughts here?
I think this is bad publicity for government, for the current government of Nigeria. This is not bad publicity for the people of Nigeria. This is what the Nigerian people, this is what the entire world has been waiting for, that this sleeping giant will wake up and take its position. You see, democracy is something, is a system of government that is powered by the people, by the citizens of the society. If you have a society that has suppressed its own people, you cannot get the best out of it. What we have been asking the leadership of Nigeria to do is that they should be able to inspire the citizens of this country to greatness, and if you create such kind of opportunity, the entire world will see the best from this society. What we have seen over the years is that the Nigerian system have continued to use oil, continue to use natural resources as the only selling point, whereas the real selling point is the citizens of this country, is the large number of young people that you have on the streets of this country. That is the strength of Nigeria. So what we are having currently, I've seen global icons, I've seen footballers, I've seen the very renowned citizens of this world. I've seen tweet from some guy that was appointed in Canada recently. Everybody is talking about the fact that this is important, this is needed. The Nigerian people need to take their rightful position, and this is what the world has been waiting for. What we are going to have after this protest is that we are going to have a revolution that will be so subtle and quietly take place and change the system of leadership in this country, where leaders become more accountable to the citizens of this country, where leaders become subservient to the people of Nigeria, not the other way around. Where the government is supposed to service the people, not the people, the government. So what we are having now is the real democracy being at play in Nigeria, and everybody that sees this will be proud of what the citizens of this country are beginning to do on the street. If this comes to an end quickly, and we are able to get a dialogue, get a particular level of agreement where government and the people begin to work hand in hand, where government and the people begin to work together for the success of this country, you will see a large inflow of foreign direct investment into Nigeria like you have never seen before, because this country has the potential to be one of the greatest countries in the world. Okay. So to me, this is a good publicity to the Nigerian people. This is a good publicity to the Nigerian state, but it will be a bad publicity for anybody who thinks that it will continue to suppress and maybe any uprising from anywhere in the society, because these young people that you are seeing today, their demands are legit, their demands are very, very, very valid. Every society should be about the people.
Okay, Lord, Bataya Sado, we thank you for coming on the program. Thank you. Okay, the program is still Perspectives on Invicta 98.9, and we're talking about the protest that's taken over, the country now from all sides, from all corners. The protests are going on, and Nigerians are just, demanding for what they want, how they want the nation to be run. Again, the question may be asked about, yes, the Nigerian people in all of these. Will it ever be business again for the Nigerian, with government and its people? I'm Lawrence Ubewe. Lawrence Ubewe is the convener of Reset Nigeria, an NGO that strives for good governance and wants, countries to run their affairs, for good of the people. Lawrence Ubewe, glad to have you with us. All right. I'll quickly ask Lawrence about the protest going on. Bad publicity for Nigeria, but again, one of the guests has said it's good publicity for the people of Nigeria too. But again, let's talk about it. Let's really talk about it. That this protest, that we're having now, when will it end? The demands have been made. The protesters have made their demand, and of course, government too has come to say yes, we acknowledge your demand. We'll work towards it. We're working towards it. And so, when should we get them off the street? And of course, again, concerns here that every nation must secure, its nation, and so the army by the side, saying that we may be brought in. What may we see if this protesters just do not go off the streets?
Thank you for having me, Tony. I must say that this is the finest moment in the history of this country. For 60 years, they took us for a ride. For 60 years, they made promises and gave us only penury and poverty. For the first time, the voice has been heard. They clipped our voices for decades. They made sure they intimidated us. But this is the time. This is one of the finest times to be a Nigerian. This is one of the finest time to be alive. So whatever anybody is saying, the world is proud of Nigerians. You can see the reaction from all over the world. They have waited for so long for Nigeria to emerge as a nation. This is that moment that the history will record that for the first time that the world stood up and Nigeria was counted. So whatever they are saying now, it doesn't matter. We have known them to be politicians. They play politics with people's life. They play politics with people's welfare. So if you hear them talking about what the world feels about us, it doesn't really matter. This is our finest moment and we are seizing it. When it comes to when it's going to end, my brother, EndSARS campaign is only a metaphor. It's a metaphor for bad health. It's a metaphor for poor education. It's a metaphor for corruption. It's a metaphor for insecurity. It's a metaphor for everything that has not worked in Nigeria. So when they are asking for when it will end, it is in their hands to end it. It is not in our hands. I want to ask some salient questions. First, recently we had the IG of police announce the disbandment of SARS. Was it the first time? Was it ever carried out? Now, last week we heard the IG of police announcing the sack of 37 officers, SARS officers. The question is, what were the offences? When were they committed? How come they are just waking up from sleep? So it's a system that was rigged against the Nigerian people, and there is no how that you continue to be intimidating citizens forever. One day they will wake up. My grandmother used to say that even a goat will fight when you lock him up. But this is that time that Nigerians are fighting back. And instead of making noise, I think they should look for things to do. They should look for how to meet the demands of the protesters. So nobody should talk about they have conceded to what we are asking for. NSAS is not just ending SARS brutality. It is good governance, demand for good governance in Nigeria. It is demand to end corruption in Nigeria. It is demand for qualitative education, for improved health care, where a child of nobody can become the child of somebody. So it is not, they can keep ranting. It is in their hands to end it. It is not in Nigerian hands. But we are going to occupy the streets until this government realizes that sovereignty belongs to the people. It is enshrined in our constitution. Nobody is going to take it away. So it is the finest moment. It is the time for anybody to be proud of Nigeria. It is the time for anybody to be alive in Nigeria.
Okay, and Lawrence, please stay on the line. Let me just take one or two calls on this.
No problem.
Get Nigerians too to talk about what we're seeing and be part of it on 081 40,989, 081 40,989 or 070 87 800 989, 070 87 800 989. I'll take your call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Tony.
Good morning.
Honestly, the whole guest has spoken so well. And indeed, Nigeria.
Just before we go, who am I talking with?
You are talking with Mr. Ereje from Marabarido.
Mr.
Ereje.
Okay. All right. Let's hear you continue.
Honestly speaking, they have spoken so well.
All right.
And honestly, we really thank God for everything that is happening. It's high time for our leaders to wake up and do the needful. Nigeria are already hungry. Poverty has taken the place of everything. Nothing is moving. And honestly speaking, insurgency, oh goodness me, insecurity, there is nothing. I just told you, just yesterday, they bounced in. And what is happening? The other time I spoke about Marabarido, honestly that place, there is nothing that is not happening. They have done nothing about it. We need to close that very place.
Okay.
And honestly speaking, he is very, very protest. Is the only solution. Why can't our leaders listen to the cry of the people?
Okay, all
the
right.
People are crying, and we need to actually listen.
Okay, Mr. we got you on that. Let's go for another call. Mr. Reddy is saying that this is a wake up call, for government on his people. Okay, let me take another call. Lawrence, I'll come back to you. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I am Mr. Clement Chidula.
Kenneth.
Clement.
Okay, Clement.
Good morning, Kay.
Thank you. Let's hear you.
Nigeria is a country that has too many problems. If the youth on the street think they want to continue to hide on the street about Nigerian problem, 2 years coming, they will see that. They are hearing, they are seeing. The people on the mountain of leadership, they are hearing, they are seeing what is happening. But they will never bow down because they will never want to. I'm sorry. They know the level of offense they have offended this nation right from ages. This is the work that today started right from 1960. If we begin to talk now, they will say we are too raw in our voice. Just so it's what we saw. I am a man of about 70 years. So there is nothing in this country that will tell me that I have not come across or seen it. Please, they either leave the seat and appoint an interim government, or the strike will continue.
Okay, Mr.
We are
Clement.
just hold on, just listen. We are just seeing this demonstration going on now. We are aware that a student takes 7 days of battle. Am I right?
Yeah.
If the student comes to join, what will happen?
Okay, Mr. Clement, we got you on that. We got you on that. I'm taking. Mr. Clement, I got you on that. I'm taking something away from you. It's time to say we're sorry, to Nigerians. I've had the Vice President, Yemi Osinbajo, come out to really apologize to Nigerians. Lawrence Obewe.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, what my takeaways here. Clement is saying it's about time the government says we're sorry, to Nigerians, and of course, Mr. Irede also talked about wake up call that demonstration is putting on the doorstep of government. Cap it all for me, your last line.
Okay, the question to say, what are they sorry about?
For whatever we've done that was not done right for Nigerians.
I can tell you categorically, with verifiable evidence, that the man who masterminded the killing of their apostles is an AIG in the Nigerian Police Force today. So what are they sorry for? Are they sorry for killing their youngs? Are they sorry for diminishing the dreams of their young people? What are they sorry for? See, this is a time for us to sit down on the table and talk. This government is not serious. Muhammadu Buhari is playing politics. He thinks it's just the normal.
Yes, you picked on the point. Let me stress on it. It's okay. We've had the demands. Time to dialogue. Now, what is wrong with that? Sit down and look on these demands too and work on them.
The government is not ready. That's what I'm saying. Because if they are ready, they would have come to the table. Let me tell you, there is a report. There is a conference report of 2014 that is on the shelves of the federal government, where Nigerians agreed on how to live together. If the government is sincere, this is when to dust it up and call the Nigerian people and say, let us reshape our this thing. I have always said, Nigeria needs a reset button. And this is a watershed when we are going to press that reset button. It doesn't matter what they do. They can bring out all the armor tanks. If they are going to kill 200 million people, let them get ready. We are resolved. They say we couldn't manage ourselves. We are managing ourselves. They say we are lazy. We are giving each other strength. They said nothing good could come out from us. Now they are the ones in panic mood. They should continue what they are doing. We are ready for them. Nobody is going anywhere. But this protest will last for as long as it takes them to get back to their senses. And we sit down and talk.
Hey, time for us to talk, Lawrence. I'm sure you will agree with that. Time for us to talk.
Yes.
Okay. And on that note, I want to thank you, Lawrence Obewe, for coming on the program.
Thank you very much, Tony. And welcome to listeners.
All right. Thank you. And that will just be about the size of it on Perspectives today. We're still talking about the protest and where this is leading to, we just cannot tell now. But again, for concerned citizens would want, aid to come to an end, where government and the people would come to the table, dialogue table, and talk about it and find a solution to it. And Nigeria needs to work. Nigeria has to work for all of us. And of course, it's a wake-up call, like one of the callers have said. And of course, it's time, government to say we're sorry to the people of Nigeria, and we hope we can do better for you. Let's keep the dialogue going, and let's work for the unity progress of this nation. My guest on this program, I have to thank them once again, Barrister El Zubai, who started it up with me, and thank you for being part of it. I'd like to also thank Matthias Sado, the convener of Hope Platform Initiative, and of course from the rear, Lawrence Obewe, convener of the Reset Nigeria button, and for all of the callers too, thank you. Nigeria is ours, let's make it work. Thank you for coming on the program, all of you. And of course, I'd like to thank Maranatha Olariwaju for connecting us with the people. Wisdom too for putting us in the pictures. Good morning.
Wake up. Let's wake up. Good morning, everybody.
What a beautiful morning it is.
Smell the coffee. Let's get started, shall we? Wake up and smell the coffee. On the Coffee Morning Drive, 98.9 in Victor FM.
For we country are different.
different kind special people buckle inside. Na im be say only one size or one formula wey go fit everybody sam not dey, especially for sleep matter. That's why they make Muka tanda special for you. Whether you be mama, papa, small pikin or even young bobo, your own Muka dey special for you. So you fit wake up with stronger body to face the hustle of the new day. For more tori, make you visit muka.com.
Muka, put more jolly for your life.
Babies are comfy, Peppermint Dry babies don't cry. It's economic, that's fantastic.
Dermatologically tested Bellum Baby Diapers makes babies happy with elastic side bands, breathable external layers, Maria to help prevent leakage, and makes families happy with its affordable price.